Welcome to part 51 of The Narrow Gate, September the 23rd of 2024. Making sure I didn't say that wrong again. By Man's Calendar, and I am just super excited to be in this book. And I was going to let the last part be my last one for tonight, but I'm just so super excited. Now, I'm just so energized by the Spirit right now that I couldn't just leave off there. So I'm going on with at least one more part. With this particular part, if the Lord urges me to continue, I will continue. But I do have to get up for work, so I'm not sure how much longer I will be with you. But I will try to do another part or two, maybe, Lord's will, in the morning, Lord's will, if I had the ability, if the Spirit is with me, to do so. Because certainly we want to make sure the Spirit is involved. We want to make sure the Spirit is doing it. And yes, we have to be instant in season and out. Sometimes we just don't feel like stepping forth and offering ourselves up. But if you will, then God will use it. Even when you don't feel like it. Because someone, wherever you are, may be on their last thread of hope. And you may be the very lifeline that the Lord uses to help them hang on before they go under for the last time. So, without further ado, let's get back into this, John 15. And I'm going to recap verse 4. And go on. Abide in me, which means remain, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can you except you abide in me. I am the vine. You are the branches. Remember, this is Jesus speaking to us about this. I am the vine, and you are the branches. He that abides in me, and I in him, the same brings forth much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing. Absolutely, absolutely. I can testify to that. Without the Lord, I was never able to do anything. I wasn't able to even speak to people. And since the Lord has supercharged me and sent me on this particular path, I mean, I had gifts and so forth before that I used when the Spirit moved on me. But since the Lord has supercharged me and changed my life and totally uprooted everything and threw out junk that wasn't necessary, the things that were weighting me down, it's like a new creature has emerged forth since my purging. And I know the Lord is using what little I have to offer. I know that He is. For His purpose, not mine. For His glory, nothing to do with me. I'm just grateful to the Lord to be a part of His family. because mine didn't want me. No parts of mine that did want me are asleep in the bosom of Father Abraham. Oh, how I long to see Jesus. Anyways, jumping right on in here to verse 6. If a man abide not in me, think about all the churches that are not baptized in the name of Jesus when you read these verses. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered, and men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. And you know, that makes me think of something that I heard this past weekend at church. Pastor Dallas said when he was preaching that he had seen a lot of people with their limbs cut off, like their arms and their legs, and that they survived. And he was making a valid point. And he said, but he had never seen a man with his head cut off and live. And as he was preaching that, a thought come to me, and I thought, wow, how did he miss all these people? And I'm going to explain what I mean by that, so don't get offended. And I thought, wow, I've seen a lot of people walking around with no head. Because all these people that are not baptized in the name of Jesus are walking around dead with no head. Because he is the head of us all. God is the head of us all. And if you're walking around without him, you have no head. So yes, I have seen a lot of headless people walking around as though they were living, yet they are dead. Because except you abide in the true vine, there's no life in you. Verse 7. If you abide in me, and my words abide in you, what's he tell us right here? Ask. Now this is just like over there in 14. Ask. You shall ask what you will, and it shall be done to you. It don't say it might be done. Now, if you know for sure something's going to happen, if I told you, hey, if you buy that lottery ticket and scratch it, it's going to be $1 million winner, you'd definitely buy that lottery ticket, wouldn't you? Well, Jesus ain't no lottery ticket. There ain't no chance in it. It's a guarantee. If you hit him, you hit the trifecta right there. Because he's all in all. If you trust in him, it's a guaranteed win. Guaranteed. Let me say it to you this way. Those of you that have children will get this, or that have loved children and help take care of them. If a child comes to you and asks for a sucker, are you going to give them a snake instead? No, you're going to give them a sucker, right? You're going to give them what they ask for, if it's within your ability to do so, right? Well, God has all power. That's right. Jesus has all power. So everything's within his ability, and nothing is impossible to them that believe. I know you heard that thought. If you abide in me, and my words abide in you, you shall ask what you will, and it shall be done to you. Herein is my Father glorified, which means honored. See, if he doesn't do and keep his word, he's not going to receive any honor. So he has to do it. You know, when Mary came to him about the wine, he said, "Woman, what have I to do with thee? My hour is not yet right." But yet he still produced the wine from water. He turned plain old water, fished up out the river or whatever, the well. Plain old water. Boof, he made it into wine. And that wasn't even nothing for him to do. He but spoke the word and it was done. I think me try that later, Lord. I think me try that later. And I'm expecting results. I'm going to give you the prelude here, Lord. I'm going to give you the prelude. Expect to hear from me shortly. And I expect an answer straightway. I'll give you just a little bit of heads up. Anyways. Herein is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit. So shall you be my disciple. Again, there he says that about bearing much fruit. I want to get that point across that he is saying that. So let's back up. Let's see, where was that? Verse 5. I am the vine, you are the branches. He that abides in me and I in him, the same bringeth forth much, not a little, much fruit. For without me, you cannot. You can do nothing. You can't bear fruit without the Lord. And if you bear any kind of fruit, and if I'm bearing fruit, it's tutti fruity. Because I'm as fruity as it comes. And, yeah. So if I'm bearing fruit, it's got to be crazy fruit. It's going to be good. It'll be a little bit sour, a little bit bitter, and a lot bit sweet. And, yeah. You know what? I told a girl that I work with the other day, me and her was sitting over there in the kitchen, and we were melting, trying to cook the food. And I said, "You know what, Ray?" She said, "What?" I said, "That fruit's sweet." She said, "Why?" I said, "'Cause sugar melts real quick in the heat." I'm nuts. Don't expect anything. Don't expect anything out of me except for that. But it proves that I'm sweet. I'm a sweet nut. Anyway, going right on. With a little bit of sour undertones. But anyhow. I'm an acquired taste. But anyhow, you just got to learn how to take it. But you bring forth much fruit. And he says that again there in verse 8. He's trying to get it across to us that if we are in him, we're going to bear much fruit. So you can't miss if you're working for him. I'll see you in the next part. I'm going to try to do at least one more part one more part, and then gotta get some rest. See you there.